Are we live? Oh, Facebook says we're live. Live video is starting.
Please write your answers in.
Okay, apparently now we really are live. Hello there.
Comments are down
Thank you. Hi there, and welcome to the Wednesday live edition of The Quilting Shed with me, your host, Andrea, in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Yes. Action needed. I love error alerts that are coming up at the same time. So I'm trying something different because we have had issues with had issues with the videos cutting out. So instead of using the service that I've used before that cross posts everything to YouTube for me and Facebook at the same time, I'm trying to go live on Facebook by default. The reason I didn't use that in the first place is because it'd be manual work for YouTube, but also I don't know if you've ever gone live on Facebook for a business page, for like an official page, not a personal account, but the interface is horrifically, terribly bad. Very bad.
So far, no chopping.
So far, no chopping. Well, you are... Snowy, my manager, is watching the video as I'm doing the video. So
monitoring the comments.
Monitoring the comments. Thank you. Thank you, babe. You doing it from the front side or the admin side?
Just front side as myself.
Okay, good. That's what I was going to suggest. So now that the technical stuff is over, oh, found my phone.
And the closed captions are up, so I know what you're saying to the viewers at home.
Thank you.
So that way you can post links at appropriate times.
Awesome. You're fantastic. Everybody needs their own personal assistants. That's why I have 4 kids. According to them. According to them. And speaking of family and moms and parents, and this is my shirt for today. If you met my family, you would understand. Yes, you would. And, yeah, I'm sitting because life is short. Good morning, Diane. If you met my family, you would understand. Today, my mom has an appointment here in Fredericton, so she will be dropping by the shop for lunch and turning the place upside down. So if you would like to stop by and say hi to my mom and witness the chaos, stop in. Will we get your order correct? Probably. Mostly. Yes, we will, because we're professionals. It'll be funny, at the very least. And as my mother always said, if I can't be a good example, at least be a horrible warning. You too can stop by for some pithy wisdom from my mom. But you're here because you're a fabric nerd and you want to see what we got new. And we got some new things. First time we got from one of our suppliers. It was a shipment of 6 boxes. On the first day, we got 4 boxes and I missed where it said how many boxes. So we're going through the invoice that's in the box, and we're looking at what's in the box, and like stuff's missing. It's like, oh, okay, more boxes. Gotcha. Okay, got it. Just some general fun stuff like that. I always say this is the best job in the world. There's a lot of fun things to owning your own quilt shop and running a pretty little fabric store. You do get to pet fabric and you do get to buy a lot of nice fabric. You do also get to handle other things like, is this a duplicate charge on my credit card a month after the first one? And why is my printer not working? Because I need a bunch of price tags on all the sewing machines that look fancy and not scribbled on a post-it note. And why did that take all day? We don't know. Just one technical thing after another, but I'm not here to bore you with the background stuff. I mean, I kind of am, but that's not the whole point of today. So before I get to the fabric though, let's talk about the sneaker class. I think there's still places open for the March class, and there's definitely spots open for the April class. We are going to run the sneaker class roughly once a month until people aren't interested in making sneakers. And when I say make sneakers, I mean, you know, sneakers like this. The class is $140, and it is 2 days over a Saturday and a Sunday. If you look down in the comments, it says items can be found at thequiltingshed.com. On the menu, it says classes. You click that. It tells you what the classes are that are currently have open spots. This is a sneaker class. This is the sole that you get in the class. We will help you put these grommets in your sneakers. I have some. We'll give you some laces. When you sign up for the class, I send you a list of everything that you need to do ahead of time, which is mostly pick out your fabric. This is really hard. And quilt it first. Quilt a piece of fabric, and then when you come to class, we spread it out over 2 days because it's just easier.
So the stock on the class item is how many spots are left, right?
Yes.
4.
4. I don't think that's right. It's probably only 2 left, but anyway, I'll check that in a minute. But so you can just obsess over what kind of fabric you're going to put on here, and we give you all the tools and everything else you need to complete your sneaker. And if you don't actually finish in the time allotted, you've got stuff to take home, because I mean, you need an awl and some heavy sewing thread, so I just send you home with whatever. So by the end of the class, you will have at least one sneaker started onto your sole, and that's pretty much the last step. But you'll get, you know, all this other stuff done, and you'll make some friends. It'll be great. Bring your lunch. Like, because you just can't buy pink dinosaur sneakers out of Tula pink fabric. Like, you just can't buy these. It's fun. I know. And the sizes are European sizing, and they do not have wide width. So you get one width. You get black or white soles. Those are your options. But it's fun. In this weekend's class, one of my students is like already planning like 2 other pairs.
Oh, there's Kevin.
There's Kevin. Kevin's the maintenance guy. He's making sure that everything's all set for when you come here, and that the sidewalk in front of the shop is all nicely shoveled out for you. Yep, there he goes. We had a super nice light dusting of snow out there, didn't we? It was magical if it wasn't, you know, minus 19. I had to wear the big coat. You know, it's cold out when the Canadians are wearing the big coat. So that was the sneaker class. I got that. Okay. I didn't make myself a list. I just piled everything on a table. I reorganized a bunch of stuff yesterday, and I made myself a nice little table at the end of the day for the video this morning to remind me. So I was talking about a shipment of fabric that we got from Moda. Speaking of shipments of fabric, everybody's been asking, where does the fabric come from? How does it come into the shop here? And are these tariffs going to affect me? So another recap of tariffs. If the American government says there are tariffs on Canada, that means things from Canada going into the US have whatever tax to the American people. And if that doesn't make sense to you, there's a longer explanation, but doesn't really affect me in that way. We might have some retaliatory tariffs, and in the first round, my friend Danielle over at Chloe's Quilting Cafe did a very extensive video. She and I had discussed all of the contents of that video before she did it. Agree with her 100%, so you can go watch her video if you want more of an in-depth look on how that affects fabric shops and where the fabrics come from. But the short version is, many of the shops here in the province don't get their stuff from the US. A lot of it comes directly into Canada, even if it's for an American company. It just comes to a distributor from overseas, and here we go. Most of it is also made overseas. There's hardly any American cotton that's made in America, like for quilt fabrics. I do know of one brand of solids, but I don't buy them. But yeah, it's all mostly made overseas. Cotton's grown in all other places other than America, like Pakistan, India. And the other thing that I have noticed, at least 2 of my suppliers are mentioning in their regular emails where they tell me about new things that they've got, they're starting to note where the products are coming from, the origin of those products. So like, I got one yesterday that said these lines are out from this particular fabric company, and the fabrics are all milled in like Pakistan and Korea and Japan, something like that. Another supplier, which I've used for a long time, another small company. Like these, here in Canada, you have your like little independent quilt shops, and the distributors that we buy from seem like they might be big companies, but the reality is they're not huge. I get a couple of things from literally family owned companies, sole women employee type of places in some cases, or sole women owners. Um, the one company I am thinking of, there's like, they have grown since COVID, but when I originally started using them as a business, I think they had like the owner and 3 employees. That was it. These are like really small companies, and generally when I call, it doesn't, even if the person on the phone doesn't, know me by my voice and my store name, it doesn't take them long. These are small companies, so they're not huge corporations here with some sort of venture capitalist billionaire trying to make a bunch of money. So what I'm saying is all of the Canadian companies involved in getting fabric into your local quilt shop this is all on the top of their mind, and they're all making sure that you get, what you want, but also that you know where it's coming from, because that's good across the board. So anyway, direct from overseas. It did come overseas. It says in the back here, it's made in Korea. This is a moda layer cake, and it's made in Korea. And moda is an American company with a Canadian distributor, so it came from Korea in a container ship into the port of Vancouver, where then it hit the moda warehouse or whatever, distribution chain. Not a moda warehouse. It hit the Canadian distributor, Trentex, and then they shipped it off to me. So yeah, this is the fruit cocktail. Woo! Fruit cocktail layer cake from Fig Tree. Did we price this yet? It's around 60. Do we know? Do you know offhand?
I forget actually.
We forget. But it's, a layer cake. It's a layer cake price. But it's Fig Tree and it's gorgeous. Woohoo!
I can check real quick.
You can check real quick. It's probably not on the website, but it will be.
Will be soon.
It will be soon. But note, we did get this. And we also, I had some Fig Tree fabric in the shop already. And it was jelly and jam. So I had the jelly and jam pre-cuts.
The layer cake apparently is 133. That's not right.
That's not right. No, we'll fix that.
We'll fix it.
That was probably for 4 of them.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Diane's in the comments. She made sneakers too. We actually used Diane's sneakers in one of our promo images. Hers is the Tim Holtz squares. They turned out really cute for having brown in them. Not a brown fan, but that's okay because they're your sneakers and you make them what you want. So we do have some Fig Tree, was my point. The Fig Tree layer cake. Diane's been all over it. She hasn't seen this in person yet. Woo, look at this. I know, look at it badly. So, like I was saying, I also had the jelly and jam pre-cuts. I think I've only got like 2 mini charms left, but I also have some yardage in. So if you had purchased one of those pre-cuts previously, and you're finally getting around to a quilt, now that you're coming in and going, I need a border fabric, I got you some border fabric.
Those layer cakes are 60.
The layer cakes are 60. Yeah, that makes more sense. So what else came in, and these are all around 60 or 70 for these jelly rolls. This is Fruit Loop from Moda, from Basic Gray. Look at that. This always gives you a good idea of the colors overall. But look at, these are so cute. Bright and cheery because sometimes it's a gray, dull day out there and you want something nice. This one Susan hasn't seen. It's from Corey Yoder. Susan's a Corey Yoder fan, and this is the Corey Yoder, some of her basics, all in the jelly roll in delightful rainbow colors. Yeah, coriander colors is what it's called. It's delicious. This one, Creativity Roars. So if you've looked at Moda, they have had this line which is like creativity shell, I guess. I really like some of the creativity whatever. It has creativity in it. I had some fabric in the old shop that was Creativity Glows, and it was great. So they're really bright, really saturated, really rainbow. Look at these. Isn't it great? This is fantastic. And I really like this because sometimes when you do a jelly roll and you're doing a pattern and you have to pick a background, it's got like the whole collection, but the collections will often have light fabrics in it. But if you've chosen a light background, then you have to pull out these light strips and it's all like a mess. But this one will be great.
Speaking of moda, I brought you two of the 30s.
You brought me to the 30s print. Great, because they were not on my list yet. And I've forgotten I got this one. This is Deb Strain. I had some of her Christmas line in, which everybody oohed and ahhed over. This is not a Christmas line. This is called Willow Farm. It's nice soft colors. And it has, look at these. Just a nice soft country look. Shabby chic maybe, perhaps we could call it. It's got little chicken wires on it. I see sheep, maybe a cow. Oh, there's a duck. Yeah, there's a little duck in there somewhere. It's cute. We'll take one out of the plastic so you can pet it. It's okay. You're allowed to pet fabric in here, and we won't think you're a freak. We'll show you where the best ones are.
That's like half the reason for
That's
a physical store.
that's half the reason for a physical store, so you can come in and pet the fabric. And like we have people here that say this is the fabric you need to come pet. So the boss was in, Ron. The boss was in yesterday, and I was showing him some of the things we have that just came in. And this one, he said, save me one, because he's got an idea. And I love that he has ideas. Yes, my husband's a quilter too. So yeah, there is like two of each color because this is a shorter line, but it's these lovely blues and whites. My mom hasn't seen this because she's driving on her way to her appointment today. This one is also right up my mom's alley. I have yardage of this as well. So this is Benartex. Classic Keepsakes in blue. So it's got those nice dainty old-fashioned prints. It's got a couple of bigger prints. And wouldn't a log cabin look great in this? Like a blue and white log cabin? Girl, I got you. I got you. And if you're like, that's all well and good, Andrea, and those were pretty and all, but have you got something a little fun? Have you got something a little brighter, a little more modern? No. Of course I do. I got you some fat quarters. Fat quarters with sloths. Look at sloths, because we all feel like one. Tomorrow's might be a snow day, and this is what we're going to be doing at home. Being a sloth. I mean, there's some cute prints to go with it. Sorry if this messes up your screen, but those are fine because I don't need to show you those because you want to see the really cute fabrics that go with them. Like, oh, I don't know. Capybaras, maybe? Capybaras are this little South American rodent, kind of like a gopher, I think.
Yeah.
They like to swim in pools. So you've got capybaras and blues and pinks and beiges. I mean, you could do sneakers out of these, and these would be the most adorable sneakers you've ever seen. Unless
I think capybaras are also the largest land rodent.
they are the largest land rodent.
And they also live in an area where there's no natural predators for them, so they're super chill all the time.
They have no natural predators where they live. See, you will learn stuff when you come in here. I've had more than a few customers say that. I love coming in here. I learn so many things. I'm like, and some of it's about fabric. But also, I have the overwhelming urge to make a pair of goldfish sneakers now. I was going to say I have no idea why, but I do know why, because these are freaking adorable. Like, look at them. Look at goldfish. Look at. Ah. So I got a few fat quarter bundles of these, and I cracked this one open. I'll probably crack all of them open because really you probably just want bits. Because the kids are here. Goats, I mean. And goats in blue. And goats in green. I don't have yardage. I just have the fat quarters because these are going in the $6 fat quarter bin. I'm sorry. Some stuff has just kind of creeped up, and at this point, a $6 fat quarter bin is kind of unavoidable. But believe me, when I tell you, these are worth it. Look at those snails. Look at these snails.
Very high quality fabric.
Yeah, can you hear this? Like, can you hear? I've been getting in some art gallery. This is Moda. This is Ruby Star. 100% cotton, made in Japan, it says. See? Made in Japan. Look at that. It's very high quality fabric. You can hear the thread count, and honestly.
You can also see the difference in thread count.
6-year-old me would have been like all over this fabric. Yeah. Like as a bedroom scheme. You see it in the Sears catalog with the little bed canopy and like the matching pillow shams and the bed skirt. You know what I'm saying. I mean, I know you do. So great. Mm. So there's that. The other thing that came in from Northcott, a Canadian company with cotton that feels like silk. I love doing their promos. Actually, it's a division of Northcott. This is Figo Fabrics, which I love. They have more of a modern twist to their things. And I bought Charmwood, which it's very soft colors. I feel like Danielle again. Very soft bluish grays with these very like taupey browns with a bit of a red tone to them. And that's like a medium floral. There's a tiny floral that I didn't bring over. Trying to save the best for last here. I know, right? This bigger floral, look at that. It's got just those nice, tiny, dusty, those dusty tones that are really popular right now. It's got this nice ivy print. This would work with anything. There's a particular sort of sagey green that people have been looking for to match up. This might be a darker version of it. Yeah, it's kind of like a teal green, the kid says.
I also love that one of those greens is called mint and it's not green.
Look at this. This is the super most cutest squirrel you have ever seen until I get to the next bolt that I want to show you, which is the only reason why I bought this line. You love it when I'm honest. It fell on the floor. But it's covered in plastic, so it's safe. These foxes. I saw these foxes and I said, sold. Sorry, gotta buy it. Look it.
I couldn't talk her out of it.
Look it. He just wants you to feed him a treat. It's fine. It'll be fine. No, he won't keep following us home, honey. One of the houses we lived in had a fox family that kept coming in the backyard, and my husband and I kept having arguments about not feeding them. There was also an unfortunate incident where one of them crawled onto the house and died, but I do have a very amusing series of photos of my husband having to crawl under the house and get it. So it was almost worth it. And speaking of pre-cuts that I am almost out of, we have some left of the 30s Playtime, which is the 1930s reproduction prints. One of the very few historical reprints that I really like, but I like them because they're fun and they're usually bright. If you are a Lori Holt fan, she leans hard into the 1930s prints all the way up to the 1950s. So it's those tiny little prints that you used to see on feed sacks. Like, well, not you, your grandma. I got a few bolts of these. I'm only going to show you a couple, but I am super jazzed because 30s fabrics go really, really well. Like, look at this pink, the little flowers. I believe these are all at like 15, which is nuts. Yeah, the 30s reprints from Moda at $15 a meter. I'm super happy about that. The Charmwood is new from Northcott, and that's 18. This was 18 a meter.
Did you mention that the pre-cuts we have of the 30s are also on sale?
I did not mention that. Thank you. The pre-cuts that we have for the 1930s playtime, they're on sale. So whatever's left, like we have a lot of mini charms. I know we have some layer cakes and jelly rolls. If you look at my website below and you click on the quilting shed and you go to the search box, just type in 1930 and playtime, you will see it all. Because if you've been working on a 30s inspired quilt, and I know some of you are, I see what you guilds are doing and what your sewing groups are doing, and you're doing like the block of the months and you're doing some applique projects, and this would be an amazing border fabric for one of your projects. I know it will. And it's $15 a meter. Yeah. And I have some small prints in blues, not this exact print, but there's other prints, and I will show them to you on the website, and you will be able to gaze at them from the comfort of your home during the snowstorm tomorrow. Or if you're watching this on Thursday while you're at home and it's snowing outside and everything's closed, hi! Please go reheat your tea. It's probably in the microwave. Anyway. You missed it. One day, we're gonna have to like record me what it looks like behind the scenes while I'm doing one of these videos. Because I have my laptop on a stand, and by stand I mean a piece of styrofoam packaging from one of the sewing machines. So professional. But I have my iPad right in front of me. And my laptop has a trackpad, and I went to do something on the screen right here. And instead of hitting my trackpad, I tried to do it on my iPad. Too many touch screens. I like it when I like to use my laptop screen as a touch screen, and it doesn't work that way. No. So the last thing I'm going to show you is we got some sort of filler blenders in a while back, not a lot. Another one of those deals from one of my suppliers. It was the Robert Kaufman Quilters Linen. We did get in some more, but it is at a slightly higher price point. These ones came in at $18 a meter, but if you do look on our website or look in the store at the Quilters Linen, the reason I want to tell you about it is because a few of you have been working on like Elizabeth Hartman type patterns, and this is one of the kinds of fabrics that she likes to use on her patterns for backgrounds. It's got that little bit of a crosshatch on it. Look at, see that lovely design? That is printed on. It's not woven. It just says Quilters Linen. It is not actually linen, although I do have linen. It just looks like it might be linen. It is still a very high quality, quilt shop quality cotton fabric from Robert Kaufman. 100% cotton, made in Japan. These labels here tell you where the fabric was made. It's good to know, huh? Or as a few people have said, amazing what you can find when you actually read the labels. I know. So this is a lovely gray. This is actually a really nice kind of a background for a quilt. A lot of people get stuck, and nobody stocks up in their stash on background fabrics. I know you don't, because you keep coming in here saying so. And I do the same thing. Who has like our tone on tone shelf right now is absolutely decimated because people are trying to finish up their projects and they are running out of background fabric.
I cleaned it up now.
You cleaned it up. Thank you.
They saw me in the background.
I know. So the other thing to consider too is using like a not white or a different color, sort of softer color in the background of your quilts. And you can see that a lot with designers like Elizabeth Hartman, like Art East Quilt Company. He uses a lot of different colors in his background. I mean, not a lot of different colors in one quilt, but a color other than white or some sort of neutral. So what else did I bring? Yeah. These help show off like your really bright colors, your really saturated colors. This is sort of a pearl gray, not really a white. It says platinum. Look at that. These are 18 a meter is what they came in at, but I feel they're kind of worth it if they're perfect. There might be one here that's perfect for what you're working on. I feel it is. These would be ones that I would use a lot in my quilts and the kind of quilts that I like to make if I had time to do that.
And these are all new colors. We didn't have any.
Yeah, these are all new colors. So if you were in and you saw we had like a half a dozen or so on the shelves, like I know we had some red. There was a red with the metallic in it that did really well over Christmas. I think we had a red and silver and a red and gold. One of those is still left.
We also had blue and silver.
We also had blue and silver. That's gone though, right?
Yes.
Okay. So like this lovely purple. Like if you were doing something in a purple floral and you needed like a border fabric, or maybe you were doing, like I said, one of those really graphic quilts where this was the background. It's fantastic. Carly D says she loves this purple. Of course she does.
And I have been going back to the comments and putting in links.
I see your links going up. Shout out to Snowy in the comments for being my assistant. Still don't pay. I was going to say, still don't pay you enough, but, room and board. Well, I feed you, gave birth to you. What can we say?
I do it because I love you.
It's all about the love here in the shop. So we also have this lovely green.
And Angela loves that gray that you're holding.
Sage. Yeah, the comments I can't see all the comments. Ugh. Oh, there we go. Woo! Oh, hello, Heidi. Heidi's way out west of us. So if it's snowing where Heidi is now, she says in the comments she's expecting 4 to 8 inches 10 to 20 centimeters all day. That's the snow that's heading our way. So thank you so much, Heidi, for sending that to me.
Thanks for the warning.
Thanks for the warning. Ah, so great. Hey, look at the search results in there. So some links. If you've seen me mention the previous fabrics, go look in the comments. The links have been posted in there. I love having an assistant. This is working out okay. I hope it's not too choppy. I am getting some notices on my end that my frame rate is too low, but I don't think it's cutting out like it was.
No, you've only cut out for like a split second at a time.
Okay, so that means I will be uploading this to YouTube later, so if you do see this a day late on YouTube, sorry, it's technical issues. And actually, as I'm looking, this particular green, it's matching that St. Patrick's Day panel from this distance. I love serendipity like this. So there are more colors than what I've shown you. I've shown you like maybe 4, but there's a lot. Oh my God, there's still more fabric. Look at me. So the other thing I'm super excited about, oh, this is what I get for sitting down. The other thing that I am super excited about, 2 more things. We got more youth flannel, and I was kind of concerned about this because people come in and they're asking for flannelette, and generally what people mean when they say, do you have any flannelette, is they want some flannel that's got kid prints, because usually you see the kid prints on what's called flannelette. And if it's flannelette, it just means it's cheaper, inexpensive fabric. And it usually has kid prints on it. But I have some flannel for you, so it's higher quality. And it still has kid prints on it because lots of people are making things for the IWK quilt drive, and they're looking at their local hospitals for quilts for kids. They're looking at NICUs. I have one customer who used to be a pediatrician. She's driving one of the guilds into making massive quantities of blankets for the NICUs, and I'm just calling them blankets because it's just 2 layers of flannel with no batting.
Still made with love, though.
Still made with love. It still uses our quilting skills, and it uses vast amounts of really cute flannel. I'm just gonna like go get some right here. Take a sip of your tea. So this is only some of it, because we have some of these prints in more than one color. This is the Twinkle Comfort Flannel by Kansas Studio for Ben Artex. I know, I hit the sale bin. Sometimes my suppliers have sales, and that's how I can get you a really good price on things, because sometimes I have to wait for sales. Often there's a lot of fabrics I could get, but sometimes I could get them at a price that maybe I'm uncomfortable with selling at.
That is not so affordable.
Yeah, it wouldn't be so affordable. So sometimes I wait and I get the best of what I can for a price point. It's a little, I enjoy this part because sometimes I get really cute stuff like this. Look at that.
And that's showing on the website. You can see all of that.
And on screen, this is showing up as paler than it actually is. So it's not as pale a yellow as it's showing on the screen. How much was this again?
Let's see.
I know most of our flannel is in the 15 to 18 range. And it washes up really, really nice.
18 a meter.
This is 18 a meter, but I mean, you don't need much. It's so cute.
It's really soft, too.
It is very soft. And one of the other prints, there's another print with more puppies. I just brought 3 of them over. You'll be able to see more on the website. But this will help give you like the sense of scale of some of the prints, because this is so cute. Even if you've made a regular cotton baby quilt top and you want some flannel for the back, seriously, how adorable is this? Speaking of backs, I did get in more fireside. I'm just not showing. They're too heavy for starters. And some of the fireside that I got in is just restock of colors that I've had previously. So it'll be here. It'll be here when you want to come look for it. The other thing, I think we have this in a light blue too, but look at this. Look at these rainbows.
We do not have that in the light.
We do not have that. Do we have it? Do we have this in another color, or I'm just dreaming?
We have both colors of the sun and moon, the dogs, and the cats.
Okay. We have more colors of the other prints.
I posted a link, they can see what we have.
If you look in the comments, there's a link. You can go see. So I really like the rainbow for baby quilts as well, because if you did not know this, and some people don't know this, I only know this because I have a lot of women friends. I haven't had to suffer any kind of pregnancy loss or child loss myself, but I have many friends who have like fertility issues. And the good thing is we talk more about that these days. So rainbows are significant for baby quilts for many reasons, but one of them is for people who manage to have a successful pregnancy and birth after some sort of pregnancy loss, they usually call those rainbow babies. And I have a friend who's had like, I don't know how many IVF transfers and how many miscarriages or whatever, but now it's been over 10 years and now she has two adorable little kids. Of course, I am their honorary grandma. So yeah, rainbow babies, this is great. You will make somebody cry. Look at me getting all choked up. I love my kids. I'm very fortunate.
And we love you.
I know. I'm going to hug my kids later. So I only have 2 more things to show you. One of which is everybody's proud of Canada. It's cool. We've been making the Canadian flag cool again. So I have these patterns and this fabric line for the Canadian road trip. It's all with the National Park images on a panel and some flag fabric that you can see here. Flags of all the provinces, and personally, I'm super jazzed about this. Provincial flowers. And also, oh, thank you. This True North Strong and Free text. These all come in black as well as white, but I dug out the white ones because specifically for this pattern, I'm doing up kits. If you're interested, don't have a price for you yet, but you make a nice Canada quilt. Or if these inspire you to make another quilt, that's fantastic. It's all about Canada. And we do have some Canadian-based patterns, which I will post all over social media about because, hey.
Even by a local designer.
Some of which we have by local designers. Yes, we have Canadian-themed patterns by Canadian designers, and we have some that are very local. I've always been a huge proponent of Canadian pattern designers, so there we go. You handed me these to let me know, let everybody know they're back in stock.
That we have them.
That we have them. Speaking of made in Canada, making a bag for somebody, get the handcrafted made in Canada bag labels. Yes, nothing's better. I made myself a purse and I put this on one, and not only does it look professional, that when people actually read it, they were like, wait a second, you made this? I'm like, yeah, I made this. You know what else I made? So remember I said I got the automation for my long arm at home, even though I don't long arm for people anymore. But I can tell you lots about it. So I've been practicing my automation, and I've told people all along when they say, oh, the long armor, they just press a button and quilt it. I'm like, it's more involved than that. It's way more involved than that. I have to line up every row. You got to make sure it's not, yeah. It might take 5 or so minutes to stitch out a whole pass, but I'm standing there watching it because the thread might break, something might catch. It's a fascinating process, but at least I can sit down. Some of it's slower than I can do it freehand, but it's a lot more perfect, and I don't have to stand there because standing at the long arm is very, very hard on your back and shoulders, no matter how ergonomic you make it. And sometimes I can just like run down the hall and take something out of the microwave, stir something in a pot. Anyway, so I've been going through my old quilt tops. I have literally a laundry basket full and a Costco bag. If you've seen the Costco bags that you put in your trunk with your $300 worth of toilet paper. Yeah, that's how many unquilted quilt tops I have at home, just for my own use. So I'm going through some of them, and the purpose that I made them for, well, I'm a process quilter, so I make the quilt because I like the process. And then I get to the end, I'm like, what the hell am I doing with this quilt? Some of them I sort of came up with things like, oh, I can use this to show off my long arming skills. Practice my custom quilting. Well, I don't do that anymore. So why would I custom quilt this quilt again? I don't. Or I have all these scraps. Let's just make a scrap quilt because this one is pretty. Let's see how these fabrics go together. Maybe we can talk about it in a class about how we're going to use our scraps fabrics. That's fine. And then, but you still have this quilt. Okay, maybe it'll go in the donation pile. So I did this quilt, and some of the rows of quilting, I didn't nest them properly. Helps if you follow the instruction. So there was some gaps, like this row would be this far apart from the previous, and this one would be this part, and it was like obvious. So I said, well, I could donate it. I could cut it up for like a bag or something. I was like, oh, wait, remember when quilted coats were like really all the rage? I think they're going to come back because it made me a quilted coat. It's adorable. I'm adorable. Yeah. Huh. Huh. Yeah, this is so I don't lose the binding for my arms, but this is my quilted coat out of my scrap quilt. See? Isn't it cute? Isn't it cute? It's got a lot of my favorite colors, a lot of my favorite fabrics. It's got some Tula Pink in it. And I just need to finish binding it in this lovely magenta colors. This is Canvas and Sangria, one of my favorites, just in case you needed to know that color. I got fancy. I put pockets on it.
And what's the pattern, Mom?
And the pattern. Everybody's like, do you have the pattern? Do you sell the pattern? Can I buy the pattern? The pattern is based off. It's called the bog quilt.
Bog coat.
The bog coat. The bog quilt. Sorry, misspoke. It's called the bog coat. And it's called the bog coat because it was, this particular type of coat was found on a bog body, which if you die and you get sacrificed in medieval or pre-Stone Age type England, they threw you in a bog. And that preserves bodies really, really well, to the point where the garments that this particular body was wearing, they could tell where all the seams were. They can even see what tattoos they had on. Their hair is preserved. They know what color it is. So yeah, this pattern is pretty ancient. There's like
100 years old,
a couple of millennia probably. Probably predates Christianity anyway. And it's got like
it does, actually.
2 seams. You make a couple of cuts, and sew a couple of seams, and it's done.
It's also no waist.
It's also known as a no waist or low waist type clothing pattern, which is also huge if you're into sustainability or you want to create less waste of things. So this I did a quilt in. This I did it from a quilt. I am going to make another one, but I am going to use it in some soft drapey fabric so you can see what it looks like. That same sort of concept in a different fabric, because we have some lovely drapey wide backs that this would work. If you just wanted a nice little cover up, a little robe. I have a piece of K facet in my stash that would work very nicely for this. Super excited about that. So yeah, I guess I might be doing a class. So let me know if you're interested in something like that. It's just one of those things where you generally just take a couple of measurements, not even complicated. You don't even have to measure. You could even just go, I just want it about yay long. I just held the quilt up to myself and said, yeah, this looks good. I didn't even cut off the length first. I just did the first part for the sleeves and left it long, and then put my hand where I wanted to trim it and found the closest seam and said, follow that line. I like to do some stuff with no math. I'm good at math, but sometimes you just don't want to, count. You don't want to count those numbers. Just had to impersonate the count there for a minute because this is a silly video. Anyway, I have to start cleaning up because the hordes will start breaking down the door anytime. I've made a mess behind me, as usual. I've gotten to everything on the table and around it, and my manager and assistant off screen is giving me that look.
No.
It's a joke. Run with it.
Okay. I need a look.
Yeah, you're giving me that look. Here's your 5 minutes, Mom. So anyway, yeah. Oh, look, see, somebody already asked about classes. Thanks, Diane. It's really easy. You just have to kind of like spread out. So that's it. If there's anything you're interested in, again, links are below in the comments. I will try and get this uploaded to YouTube as well sometime today or tomorrow. And try to remember our shop cancellation policy is if schools are closed, then the shop is usually closed, because if the roads are not safe enough for kids to go on school buses, it's not safe enough for seniors to come out and buy fabric. Not because I have small kids at home. I'm just saying. So tomorrow with the storm, I think it's going to get here later in the day. So we will probably be open for some time through the day and just close early sometime after lunch. That's kind of what I'm expecting, but please stay posted. to our website and, you know,
Facebook page.
Facebook page. Yeah, Facebook page. I got to get in the habit of using the website more. We'll talk about that later. You have a great day. It's hump day. We're almost to the weekend. It's going to be a long weekend this weekend. It's family day. I've met my family. They seem like nice people. Also, you will, if you've met my family, you will understand. So, mom's going to be here for lunch. So, yeah, we got to clean. Oops. Okay, I'll see you later. I'm signing off as soon as I can find the button to quit. Help.
Sorry, we're live forever now.
We're live.